Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
It's almost like a revolving door.
COVID patients fill up a state-line medical center. UW Health SwedishAmerican Hospital struggles to treat everyone with 0 ICU beds to spare.
Survivor advocates spend the day raising awareness for a crime rampant in Winnebago County. Find out what resources are available for those tricked into human trafficking.
And the Rockford region has plenty of unique and tasty restaurants to visit. Find out why a whole week of this month is being devoted to the local food scene. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. A Rockford hospital is maxed out. Because of a COVID case surge, the critical care unit will have trouble treating patients in for COVID or any other illness.
Alexis Carpello spoke with a health official at UW Health SwedishAmerican. Alexis, she tells you they don't have any ICU beds available.
Yeah, that's right, Eric and Mimi. The chief nursing officer says right now the resources are strained, so much so that they're getting extra hands to help from the state.
Every day, every hour, we're constantly evaluating this.
UW Health SwedishAmerican's ICU beds are full, a stark reality as COVID-19 continues to spread rapidly in the region.
Last Thursday, we made history, not the kind of history you want, but we had 30 beds and every single one of our patients was on a ventilator.
Of those 30 patients, 22 were sick with COVID-19. Now fast forward to Tuesday.
We have 30 patients and 16 of them are COVID positive. We constantly are evaluating what's the stability of the patient and when are they ready to move to just a little lower level of care. Everybody in Region 1 is experiencing high census and limited ICU beds and strained resources.
Rockford's OSF St. Anthony is near capacity. In a statement, they explain they do have an emergency operations plan for each hospital that contains a surge plan. This allows them to increase general and ICU beds as needed. UW Health SwedishAmerican says this fourth surge of COVID-19 patients is taking a major toll on staff.
We work really hard. Everybody's getting very tired. It's hard to be resilient for this. It's hard. Everybody comes in knowing that today is going to be as hard as yesterday, and you look at your shift and tomorrow is going to be as hard. We all know there aren't answers. There aren't solutions right now. Maybe there would be solutions if everybody would vaccinate, wear masks, socially distance, do all of those. We know they make a difference. That would change the reality of what we're living with in the hospital.
Winnebago County Health Department Director Dr. Sandra Martell says the community needs to understand how fragile the system is and work to help decrease the need for hospital care at this time. She urges anyone who hasn't been vaccinated to get their shots, and to those who have to make sure to get your booster. Eric?
Thanks, Alexis. We've got information to share with you about how Freeport's fire chief will be remembered. Chief Brad Liggett's visitation will take place Friday from 4 to 9 at night at Central Christian Church in Beloit. If you can't make that time slot, a second visitation will take place at the same location Saturday. That one runs from 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. Then at noon Saturday, the church will host the chief's service. Liggett died suddenly January 8th.
Today is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. It's a time to let people know about an issue happening right here in the state line. Human trafficking is the recruitment or coercion of people for commercial sex. Rockford's currently ranked as the second most human trafficked city in Illinois. Experts say the average age of those forced into prostitution is between 12 and 14 years old. Sex trafficking survivors have a resource here in the Force City in the Rockford Alliance Against Sexual Exploitation, or RACE.
Survivors can come and get assistance with basic life needs, whether it's clothing, food, referrals to services, whatever that may look like, and really we just walk alongside them wherever they're at. They know their lives and their stories best, so it's really just about creating that connection and really that alliance to just be a support to that individual.
For more information on RACE and to see how you can help combat human trafficking, head to mystateline.com.
The national blood shortage is relentless. Blood centers across the U.S. and in the state line continue to plead for potential donors to find time to roll up their sleeves. The American Red Cross supplies 40% of the nation's blood supply. Organization administrators say, as it stands, there's only enough blood on hand for emergencies. That has doctors making some tough calls.
If you think about not having enough blood or having to have a doctor and hospital have to choose or make decisions, it could be a very serious situation. And if it was my loved one or my friend or me, I would want the blood to be there for me.
The Red Cross wants to remind people it only takes about an hour to give, and you could save up to 3 lives from a single donation.
A top House Republican from the state line wants to challenge Treasurer Mike Frericks for his job this November. Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. Deputy Republican Leader Tom Demmer launched his campaign for treasurer today. The 5th-term Republican from Dixon says he'll be a fiscal watchdog over the state's purse strings. The primary election is June 28th.
Boeing picks Rockford's Collins Aerospace for a new venture. The company will make a new electric power system for the U.S. Air Force's B-52 bomber. Collins says this will make the aircraft greener while extending the vehicle's lifespan. The project will create around 60 new jobs in the Forest City. In addition to building power systems, Collins will also provide new wheels and brakes for the B-52. Those looking for a career in manufacturing could land a job later this week. High demand has Concentric in Rockford creating new positions. The company builds pumps and has been around for more than 30 years. The employer is looking to fill 25 openings from entry-level to assembly work to skilled machining.
We've got employees who've been here for over 40 years. Anyone who comes in, we're a very family-oriented company, and we know that people come out and they love it here and they tend to stay.
A hiring event with on-site interviews will take place from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday at Concentric's location on 15th Street.
A foodie favorite will return later this month. Rockford Region Restaurant Week starts January 24th. Throughout that week, local eateries, coffee shops, bakeries, and more will offer special deals to bring in new customers. Rockford Area Convention and Visitors Bureau sponsors the event in hopes of boosting small businesses after a tough few years amid the pandemic. The RACVB says Restaurant Week is a chance to try new things with friends and family.
This is a perfect excuse or a reason to try out that restaurant that you've driven past or you've heard about, or a different side of town that you haven't been on in a different neighborhood, and check out that local restaurant, and perfect reason to.
Throughout Restaurant Week, customers can vote for their favorite place to grab a bite. Awards will be given out for best food, atmosphere, deals, and more.
President Joe Biden returns to a key battleground state to endorse changing Senate rules that have stalled Democrats' voting rights legislation.
The president sent a clear message from Georgia back to Washington, saying it's time to choose democracy over autocracy. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. Some civil rights groups skipped President Biden's remarks today in protest of what they called inaction from his administration. But the president told them to keep the faith.
The battle for the soul of America is not over.
In the heart of where the civil rights movement took place, President Joe Biden is making his strongest case yet for the biggest overhaul of U.S. elections in a generation.
We want the people to rule.
The federal legislation would strike down state voting hurdles, reduce the influence of big money in politics, and limit partisan influence over the drawing of congressional districts. After previously defending Senate rules, the president says he's willing to make an exception to pass these measures.
We have no option but to change the Senate rules, including getting rid of the filibuster for this.
But not all Democrats are on board with changing filibuster rules to pass voting reform with a simple majority. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin wants Republican support.
Filibuster is what makes the Senate hopefully work when it's supposed to work.
The Senate isn't broken and doesn't need fixing.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has united his caucus against Democrats' legislation.
We know they're already willing to manufacture a voting rights crisis to increase their own power.
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn argues 94% of voters said voting in 2020 was easy. And Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer agrees, stressing Democrats want it to stay that way.
2020 worked out okay. I guess my friend is saying the big lie is false, because Donald Trump said it was fraudulent.
And Schumer set next Monday's Martin Luther King Jr. Day as the deadline to consider voting rights legislation and the filibuster rules. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Just a gorgeous sunset here for us this evening. A live look with our Mercy Sky Track camera now out in Rochelle, looking off to the northwest. It is so nice to still be able to see a little bit of sun there on the horizon at about 5:15 as those days, they continue to get longer and longer. And the best part about this afternoon, our temperatures up a bit compared to where they were this time yesterday. Reason for that strong and gusty southerly wind. Those wind gusts coming down, but we still do have a breeze from the south kicking up anywhere from 10 up to 15 miles per hour. That has given our temperatures a nice boost today in the low to mid 30s. Currently at 35 in Rockford, 34 in Freeport, 32 in Rochelle, and 31 right now in DeKalb. But the downfall this time of year with that wind, no matter what direction it's coming from, wind chills have been a good 10 degrees colder than the actual temperature. So that wind did have a bit of a bite out with it today. 34 for our weather watcher Ken in Belvedere, 33 for Mike in Forston, and 29 for our weather watcher Bob here on the southeast end of Rockford. We are not the only ones that have warmed up here this afternoon. 40s, 50s, and even some 60s down across the central and southern plains. While we won't get quite that warm here this the next couple of days, those 30s will stay with us, but we're kind of on this boundary, or at least the fringe of this boundary that stays with us these next several days. So with the pattern in our jet stream, it allows these low pressure systems to move out of Canada, otherwise known as clipper systems, and kind of dive down to the southeast, passing through either west or very close to us these next couple of days. So what that does for us is it actually gives us a chance for some snow showers or even a little bit of mixed precipitation as we head through the afternoon tomorrow and then into tomorrow night. So let's put this all together. We've got a little moisture that comes in. So with that, we are going to see that cloud cover move back and already seeing that here tonight. So that leaves us mostly cloudy. Temperatures with still a west and southwest wind tomorrow still stay in the low to mid 30s. Wind, though, this go around is not going to be quite as strong. So it'll feel a little closer to what the actual temperature is. Tomorrow morning, there's a weak kind of trough or elongated area of low pressure. That might spark a couple of flurries for the morning, and then as we go into the afternoon, there is another system that comes in, but notice Futurecast again keeping us fairly dry. But I am going to keep a small chance for a little mixed precipitation into the afternoon and then into the evening. Next low pressure system then on the deck coming in from the northwest, that'll move in early Thursday. This one may have a little more oomph to it and could come through during the Thursday morning time frame, and that could bring us some light snow showers. One thing to watch too for the commute, but it is out of here by Thursday afternoon. Next low pressure system that comes in here from the northwest. Again, this one a little stronger by Friday afternoon, Friday night, but might ride a little further to the west. And while it gives us a better chance for some snow, we may see some of those higher snow accumulations also focus to the west Friday into Saturday. So 25 degrees for us tonight. We are going to stay quiet. Those wind speeds coming down, cloud cover increases back up to 36 for tomorrow afternoon. Our southwesterly wind will eventually change to the northwest late tomorrow evening. 32 on Thursday, down a little bit for Friday. We do see the numbers, guys, drop here into the weekend, and we'll stay in the 20s as we head into next week.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
So the Bears finished this season with a record of 6-11. Where have I heard that before? Let's take you back to the start of the NFL season and my take on the Bears and the NFC North on September 8th.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with sports director Scott Lever.
The start of the NFL season is here. The first game will be played tomorrow night between the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. So let's take a closer look at the Bears and what this season could look like. Here's what I like about the Bears. The potential, of course, of Justin Fields. Perhaps he is the franchise quarterback this franchise has lacked since Sid Luckman. I like Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack at linebacker. You'd have a hard time finding a team with two better ones, maybe the Buccaneers. I like Jalen Johnson at cornerback. I think he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. And I like Cairo Santos as the kicker. Unfortunately, the Bears' negatives outweigh the positives. The two most important positions in the NFL after quarterback are offensive tackle and cornerback, and the Bears are weak at those positions. When you're banking on 39-year-old Jason Peters to be the guy at left tackle to protect your quarterbacks, you have a problem. The receiver position as a whole is one of the worst in the NFL. Allen Robinson is very good, but not the home run threat many teams have in their number one receiver. Darnell Mooney has a lot of upside, but after those two guys, the Bears have a bunch of guys with speed who simply have never been productive receivers with other teams. At running back, the Bears are okay, nothing special though. David Montgomery's good, but defenses don't fear him like they fear Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and a couple other elite backs. This offense simply lacks home run hitters. And Matt Nagy goes in my negative column. He's not good at developing players. He's not good at play calling or making in-game adjustments. And another negative, the Bears have the third toughest schedule in the NFL based on last year's records of their opponents. I was going to pick the Bears to go 7-10. I just talked myself into 6-11. So I'm going with that. And most likely somebody else will be coaching this team a year from now. The Packers will not have any competition in the NFC North. I have the Packers going 13-4, the Vikings 9-8, the Bears 6-11, and the Lions 4-13. All right, back live with you now. So I nailed the Bears and the Packers. I was one game off on the Vikings and half a game off on the Lions. That was my take September the 8th, and it's still my take. We'll be right back.
Candace has one last weather check in a minute.
But first, here's a look at what's to come on News Nation tonight.
A new wave of the empty shelves crisis is hitting every corner of America. How it could change the way you live. Plus, the FAA grounds flights off the West Coast after North Korea fires a missile. Coincidence or defense? Here's Dan Abrams.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. A jury forewoman won't confirm a compromised manslaughter verdict in a Florida murder trial. She says 3 jurors refused to convict of murder only because the defendant was a young black man. That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
That's coming up tonight on the fastest growing cable news network in America, News Nation. It's available on the cable and satellite stations you see here. You can also head to newsnation.com.
Got a little more cloud cover moving in tonight. The first warning interactive radar stays dry, although could see a couple of flurries or even a light mix develop during the day tomorrow. Temperatures won't be as cold tonight. We are down to about 25 degrees, up to 36 for tomorrow, and a little less wind. There is a chance for some snow early Thursday. We'll keep an eye on that. And then Friday going into Saturday, temperatures, we don't see a big drop as we head into the weekend or early next week.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.